Hi guys, it's Maaike. Today I'm back with the first installment of Clearly Besoted month. Yay! Here's the card that I made. Now you might wonder, why a Clearly Besoted month? Well, look at this. I have a few. I bought them all myself, so I'm not sponsored. I'm just want to make good use of it. It's like use, don't hoard your stash, but dedicated every working day or weekday. We call it working day in the Netherlands. To a Clearly Besoted stamp set. So I have pushed the ones aside that are Christmassy, and I might go back to them. And I also put the coloring of this one first, so I can talk to you about it a little bit more. So these are the robot plushies. I have stamped them. All the images of all the sets that I have, and I also cut them all out in the past few weeks. My scanner cut them out. So much so that my blade has gone dull, but that's okay. And as I said, I bought all these. I'm not sponsored. I was not asked to do that. But I have so many. If I do a use and hoard every week, that will take me, I don't know, 3 years. I didn't count how many sets I have. But the winters and the other ones that might be used for Christmas thank you cards. I don't really send out those. Don't know why, but I never have. I send Christmas cards, and that's okay. And what can I say more than that? I have not really planned anything, which cards I'm going to do which one, and also not planned the designs. You can see that for this card I wanted to use a different stencil, which I couldn't find, which is my stunted pentagon thingy. I don't know what it's called. And this is the card almost finished. Actually, it's the colors, because I have shuffled it around, as I say. I have a few sets that are only sentiments, and I might use those instead of the ones that I included, but maybe with a stencil you could make a card out of it, but I like to color my images. Now I stamped everything on Copic or marker paper, so that will be the main focus of my month. And I do plan to do it every day, Monday through Friday, and if I have a few more, maybe I will do more, but I don't know yet. As I said, I didn't plan it that well, but I'm starting to make the card by making a mask, because I want to ink blend behind this city. And it reminds me of the Jetsons. Do you remember the Jetsons? It's just like a animated. I'm looking for masking paper, and I thought I'll just take a big piece. This is removable labels from Herma, and they work the best on my DCP paper. And I stamp it with Versafine clear ink, which is refilled with Onyx black ink. So I just say Versafine ink, and you know that. You can see that by the red sticker. Because I have two. One is not refilled, and it is still packaged actually. To cut it, the mask, I did cut it apart a little bit. I thought I can just replace it once I stamp the city, because between the buildings there's quite a lot of space, literally, and I want to ink blend everywhere, of course. So I just made a few, and I thought I needed two to cover my card front, but I only needed one. Lucky me. I'm heat setting it because the Versafine ink, and then I'm cutting it out mostly off screen, but I wanted to show you that I'm leaving a little lip at the bottom, so I can make it overlap the mask. And I settled in the end for an oval mask, because I thought that was quite similar to one of the, or two of the buildings, and also friendly and maybe UFO like. I don't know. I also pulled out a hexagon, and the one that I couldn't find, my octanoid pentanoid. I don't even know what it's called, but I will find it. I didn't put it back where it belongs, and I don't know where it is. Shame on me, but that's okay, because OVO was fine as well, and I'm sure I can use the other one in another card. And you see, this is the hexagon. I will leave a lot of space above it for my ink blending. But yeah, the focus is of course on the stamps and the little plushie. And it's so cute. I went for the one that looked robot-like to me the most, but also friendly, with a little heart. And there's also a spaceship in the set and a balloon that I didn't stamp or cut out or use. But you could, of course, program to party. It's nice. I think most of my cards might be birthday cards, because then I can always use them. So program to party sounds like a birthday, and I can put that on the inside. And here I made a mistake, because well, it's not really a mistake, but because it's the card base, if I color this with my markers, it will seep through to the inside a little bit. It's quite thick DCP paper. I would do, because it is DCP paper, I would color, but then yeah, I thought I have to put something on the inside, so I don't want to do that. So instead I switched to a panel of that marker friendly paper, and I will just attach it with double-sided tape. Now my oval is just cut with a die from stencil plastic. It's not completely in the middle, so I turned this oval upside down. It might be a bit weird, but I did that so I could, you know, still put it in the corner, chuck it in there, but have it overlapping on the one side where there's, you know, outside the middle, not centered properly. And sometimes that happens because the plastic is very slick. You know, even if you stick it down with post-it tape, it moves. Sometimes it just, you know, does that. But that's fine. And now I'm using Gina K amalgam ink for my city, because I want to color it. And I went for pastel-y colors on purpose, so they would recede to the background. And they look friendly. The pink is a bit bright. I might go back later with a blender pen and trying to bleach it out a little bit, because it's kind of the only thing I'm looking at while I do the voiceover, and I look at the card, I think pink. For the sentiment, as I said, I'm using the one that's in the set, and I'm using Versafine ink, and I'm trying to get it as straight as possible with my triangle ruler, but I was fumbling a little bit. It's probably because it's Sunday and my brain doesn't work in weekends. No, that's not true actually, but I of course have to film and edit it and then upload it for the next day, and every weekday is quite the commitment, so yes, I'm full of intention on the number one, but you know, I will persevere. But yeah. So I'm putting the masks on, and the lip will make sure, you know, they will go to the bottom. I did pull out a fine liner so that if I needed, I could just elongate the little buildings, but I didn't need to. So see, it does looks like it, but I think I didn't put the stencil back the same place. But see, here's what I'm looking at, the fine liners, and just the right width. I am erasing my pencil line, and instead of a stencil you can use the same die, of course, to cut it from your masking paper as well. But I have the stencil, so I use that. I like to reuse things. These masks, you could reuse them, but they don't stick very well the second time anymore, because they are removable labels. They're not supposed to, and that's why they work great as masks. But yeah, usually it's a one time thing, which is a bit sad, but yeah, I ripped them anyway because you see they are so dainty. They're stuck together, but they're dainty, and I cut the bottoms off, as I say, so I could get in between the buildings. And I had to, like I said, I fixed a few lines where the masking tape went outside the buildings, or I didn't cut it close enough on the black line. Is what I do when I cut masks. I cut on the line instead of just outside. Yeah, and I wanted to show you this. These are the ink blending tools that you know, the wooden ones, and I took my alcohol inks to them and I made my own rainbow color handles, and they're not perfect, but they are visual help. So I really like them, and I don't know why I never thought of it before, but I wrote on them with a Sharpie which color. I tried a label, didn't stick, and then I wrote on the Sharpie blue or red, and yeah, that never worked as intended. So for my ink blending, I'm using Distress inks, Dusty Concord, Faded Jeans, and well, Broken China, which I think is quite similar in this case. And of course, whatever's left on my ink blending tool. You can see those 10s that I have will cover all the color families, and yeah, sometimes you get a little extra color variation, but that's worse with Distress oxides because they stay wet, don't they? And yes, Dusty Concord. You can do it all one color, but I kind of like the variegation. And for my stars, I'm not using white or silver. I'm using Lawn Fawn Stardust because it's awesome. And water, and my toothbrush. Actually, dedicated toothbrush. I would say it's not the one I use at night. Yeah, but it makes really fine splatter. And I did pull out the star stencil from Clearly Besoted, but I thought they were too big compared to the buildings. So really fine splatter with my toothbrush, and I'm heat setting it, but it's plastic stencil, so you be careful if you do that. And see, you can even see it on camera, and that, yeah, that's a bit of a shame, but that's the bit you see the best because it's a really big blob. But I like it. Shiny stars. It's really shimmery, this Stardust from Lawn Fawn. And then I'm peeling off the mask, and see they rip because they're wet, of course. And yeah, I'm not being very careful as well. So then to the side, you already seen the ones that I colored, is the one with the heart, because he's kind of cute. And I probably didn't need to stamp all the images and cut them all out, but you know, while I was doing it, I thought I'd just decide on the day, which is what I did. I went for this one, and you could cover that really big splotch, of course, if you wanted to. So you've seen the coloring, and I did that in the beginning, so I can talk for 17 minutes. But yeah, you can see the shimmer, it's so cute. I just finished the card with some foam tape, and I added the panel to the card base, so that's cool. And yeah, I will go back, and I thought I will do 3 colors of buildings, and instead I went for the same shape buildings from the same color. And then maybe I should have done yeah, different color for that square green ones, but I didn't. You know, I thought 3 was like, I went for the lightest ones that I have, so they look like they're more in the background. You could use more gray toned colors if you have them, and just, you know, slightly what do you say, that slightly shade them. And I went in with the marker that's way too dark for my little bits to, you know, fix them ink blending. But with the blender pen you can just lighten it and make it fade in. And well, once it's dry you can't see it that much, actually, I think. it's really hard to get the same color unless you color the background with the markers, of course. I didn't, because I like ink blending. And yeah, these are the graphite brush markers that you have seen me use before. I didn't use the fine liner tip at all, but I like these colors. That's kind of why I went for them. There's no rhyme or reason. Also, it's dry blend, and I use the Copics, and you know, I have them. I switch between them. So the pink is very pink. I like it like this, but then I went over it with the dark, and again, it's very bright. I'm not sure if pink is very futuristic, but the green and the blue is. I might go in with some purple. You can match it to the sky, of course, or you know, all whites seemed a bit too much. But then the just some tape runner, and still looks like a one-layer card, except for the plushie. But yeah, I didn't want any seepage on the inside. So here's the last bits. It's just a bit of foam tape behind the robot, and then I adhere it to the card. So that's card 1 done. Yay! Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this series. You know, I will do my best doing all 20 of them, but you don't have to watch them all. I hope you will, of course. But I hope to see you again soon anyway. So until next time, thank you for watching. Bye!